Hi everyone, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com, and on this rather chilly Northwest Louisiana day, we're going to take a look at this 2022 Chevrolet Silverado High Country. You can only see the High Country logo there, but also the 6.2 liter logo on the hood up there as well. So obviously that tells you what's under the hood. Before adding options, this truck is $58,200. After you add all of the additional options that are on this truck, it jumps to $70,010. So when you go to the dealership, you might be able to say, if you knock that $10 off, you got a deal, right? So let's take a look at exactly what you get. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED tail lights, basically LED lights everywhere you look. And something that's interesting here, I think it'll be a lot easier to see on this side, is you have the air curtain right here. I like the design of how Chevrolet has done this. And of course, that's going to help with gas mileage. Speaking of gas mileage, let's open the hood and see exactly what's under here. A lot of people have varying opinions on what they want. Tell me down in the comments, do you favor the 6.2 liter, the 5.3, or maybe something else? Okay, let's talk about numbers with this 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 on the torque. It's going to be mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. But the main reason why a lot of people have told me personally, I've also seen it in the comments, why they want the smaller 5.3 liter V8 or maybe some of the other engine options available. Gas mileage numbers. On this motor, we're looking at 14 miles per gallon city, 19 highway. Let's make sure I don't get tongue-tied there. Combined total of 16. What about for driving on a full tank of gas? How far can you go? According to Chevrolet, per every 100 miles you drive, you should go through 6.2 gallons of gas. And the tire size is going to be 275/50. Got the upgraded 22-inch wheels there. Of course, going to have those turn signal indicators built into the side view mirror. That's something people really seem to like having on their vehicles. And of course, while we're here, let me dig into my pocket. I'll show you the remote. You're going to have remote start, of course, everything you would expect to see there. Plus, you can open the tailgate with this remote, which you do have the chrome side steps on each side, just permanently affixed in place, so it's not going to be a power side step. But one thing that I want to point out here is interesting. If you didn't know, maybe you've never had a truck this new before, you do have the ability to lower the tailgate either with the button right here on the remote. There's also a button on the interior. There's also a button right up here if you need that. But here's what's interesting. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push it twice. See how it says ×2 on there? So let's push that twice. And there's a reason why I'm showing you this. When you push it twice, it comes down. You don't have to hold it down. But here's how you hold it or use it to bring it back up. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm going to let go of the button. Watch what happens. The tailgate comes back down. The point here is that you have to hold the button down, whether it's this one or the button on the interior, to close that tailgate. Of course, you're going to have the High Country logo here. It's going to be in a whole lot of different places. And we're going to go ahead and open that back up. Let it beep so Carrie knows to get out of the way here. So here is the bed, 12 different tie-down points. You've also got the interior lighting of the bed that's going to be right here on both sides, pointed inward. I like that. Well, let's talk a little bit about towing numbers and payload. Max towing for this particular truck, 9,200 pounds, which isn't bad, and 2,280 on max cargo or payload capacity, depending on what you are doing. So let's work our way around here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll have Carrie meet me over on that side. We'll meet you here in the back seat and take our first look into the interior. So here's what we have. Very interesting. I'll have Carrie open the compartment right there just so he can show you a little bit easier. Very interesting to have those on both sides here. I've also got one on my side, and whatever you want to put in there, well, you can. So it's an interesting little storage spot. And of course, you can raise these seats up. That's how you're going to gain access to not only additional storage, but everything to change the tire. If you ever need to change a tire, is located right there. And that's one thing about these Chevrolet trucks. We're going to put the seats back down here. Apologize if the camera's a little shaky doing that, but it's okay. There is a lot of space here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my bag and we will just jump over here and show you how much leg space I have. Look at that. I mean, I can pretty much stretch my legs all the way out. I'm 5'10", have some space above my head too, quite a bit there actually. So there's a lot of space back here. Of course, we've got the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in, and functionality here, of course, you've got your USB ports there depending on what's needed for rear seat passengers, and also going to have that 12 volt right there. If you have 3 people back here, technically what you could do, get an adapter, plug it into the 12 volt, and then you have 3 USB ports and then a couple more cup holders right there. Chevrolet has more cup holders in their vehicles, I think, than just about any other that I've seen, other than maybe the Honda Odyssey. Okay guys, we're gonna take a quick look here. And before we do too much, I didn't want to forget to show you the sunroof right here. And while it's pretty much a conventional size sunroof, it is there. It is a power sunroof. And you also have, I don't know if Kerry can show it from where he is right now. I'm gonna push the button right here. You can also open the power sliding rear window. So just so you know what's there. Of course, a good look at the interior here. You got the heated and the ventilated seats. Also got that High Country logo stitched into the headrest right there. And quite a bit of storage here. You've got the upper and the lower glove boxes. And of course, I'll have Kerry pan around there before he hops into the truck and show you the large door bin there. A lot of space. You can even put some large bottles in there if you wanted to, just whatever. But there is a lot of space here. So as we work our way into the interior here, on this particular truck, you won't see the updated larger screen, but still a nice look here, very easy to use. And the thing I like here is that, of course, you're going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can pair your phone, but you don't have to be in reverse to use the cameras. And there are multiple views here. I really like this. In fact, I kind of jokingly say this, so just take it for what it is. It's a joke. But if you run into anything with one of these trucks with all these cameras on it, well, you're just not paying attention. We'll probably say that better. It sounds better than saying you're a bad driver. But it is what it is. So you've got all the different features and functionality here. Teen driver mode, valet mode, all that good stuff is here. Of course, like I said, you can pair your phone depending on what you have. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all of your different settings right here. It's really a pretty simple system to use. Some people will say it's antiquated. Tell me down in the comments why you think it is if you're one of those people. What's lacking? What needs to change? That's the kind of thing I like to have people answer. And of course, here with the steering wheel, got the steering wheel mounted controls. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to probably say too much about that. And I'll just have Kerry give you a quick look at the dashboard as we get ready to hop out onto the road for our test drive. And of course, you're going to have all your controls here for the radio, a little bit more for the touch screen. Let's see, we'll just show you real quick if you want to go home. Of course, it's very easy to just push that. Everything, again, simple to figure out. Push button start right here. If you got the remote with you, then obviously you can use that to start and stop the engine. Dual zone climate control, you can sync those together if you want to. And you do have a lot of nice one-touch features here on the dashboard as far as what you can do. Like I said, you can even open and close the tailgate, but you have to do the exact same thing that I showed you on the remote. You push it once for it to go down here, and then you have to hold it down to bring it back up. A little bit different than the remote. You don't push it twice, but as you can see, you even have a button here for lowering all 4 windows at the same time. We're not going to demonstrate that because the label is in one of the windows, but just so you can see what's there. Also, more connectivity here. Your USB ports, got a couple of options there, and of course the 12 volt and the household power outlet also. And let me pull my phone out here real quick. We'll stick that in there real fast just so you can see the phone start to charge, if it will start to charge. I think it's, there we go, because I had a notification on there, but you can see it charging. But here's something interesting. If you need maybe more than one charger, wireless charger or whatever the case is. Maybe you like it better up here. There actually is an aftermarket charger you can have installed right here. You can install it yourself if you want to. And of course, you've got a whole lot of space down there inside that console. Additional connectivity options right here as well. I'll tell you what, if you can't find somewhere to store your things in this truck, well, you probably just have too much, because there's no shortage of storage space. All right, we're gonna hop out on the road here for our test drive, and I'll tell you what, the one thing I noticed about these 6.2 liter V8s is you better keep an eye on your speedometer, because if you're in an area where the speed limit is strictly enforced, which it is here in Bossier City where we're filming today, well, it doesn't take much to get up to a higher speed than you think you're going. Of course, that's one of the things about driving a truck. The higher you are off the ground, the less sensation you have of speed compared to when you're real low to the ground. So a couple of things I want to make sure I mention here that I don't think I talked about earlier in the video. You do have a very nice heads-up display. You can configure that a couple of different ways, go through a couple of different settings to see different things depending on what you want. And it's a little hard to get a good shot of that, so hopefully I was able to do that justice with the picture I took today. And then of course you have the heated and ventilated seats. So let's take advantage of the horsepower, since I don't like being in someone's blind spot. All right, there we go. We got around them with absolutely no problem. I'll tell you what, this 6.2 liter carries impressed in the passenger seat there. You weren't expecting that.
No, that was pretty quick.
So, one thing I have to say here, I really like the fact that over the years, even though with these trucks, you know, it's still a truck, it's still gonna have a little bit of that truck ride quality, but it's nothing like it used to be many years ago. These trucks ride so much better now than they used to. The seats are good and comfortable. You got a good comfortable leather wrapped steering wheel here, and it's easy to see out of. You know, these trucks, you just have a hard time finding anything, even an extended cab today, let alone a regular cab. So pretty much everything you get, unless you special order, as far as I know, you're going to wind up with the 4-door, the crew cab type, the super crew, depending on the manufacturer, on what they call that. But you're going to have this 4-door style truck, but they're still not difficult to see out of. Of course, you're going to have features such as blind spot monitoring and all that good stuff. But, you know, we made it for a long time without all of those things, right, Carrie? We know how to do that. At least some of us do. I know there's some people that are young enough to, or maybe you haven't done that, but for those of us that have, you know, I still find myself, it's funny, we showed all the different angles of the camera, the backup camera and just the cameras in general all over the vehicle. I still am having to remember to even look at that when I'm backing up. I'm still turning around and looking in my side view mirrors and everything, which is a good thing to do. But anyway, what is my overall impression of driving this Silverado? Well, like I said earlier, it rides well, it drives well. It sure isn't hard to park. All you have to do, you know, you will want to look at the camera if you're in a really tight spot and look at those multiple views. But trucks have come such a long way from what they used to be. You know, back when a truck was, maybe some people will say was a truck, when it was just used for hauling things. It was a true pickup truck. Now you have some of these trucks that come so far, they're really more luxurious. I call them sometimes luxury trucks. I don't know that I would say this one necessarily fits into that category, but it has a lot of luxurious features, a lot of great functionality. Everything's very easy to use. I'd still like to have maybe a month with maybe a vehicle as a demo or something like that, where I could maybe pull a trailer and just drive it every day and see how it really handles as a daily driver. It's one thing to do these test drives here on YouTube. We only get a few minutes with this. Honestly, I can only give you so much feedback. I really encourage people, if you're planning on buying one of these, just go to the dealership and drive one, because my feedback might be different than what you experience, and a lot of that comes from what you're used to driving. I mean, what your expectations are. So just things to think about. But we still wanted to give you a good test drive with this Silverado. But I tell you what, I guarantee you, if I was driving around in this one for a while, I would not be achieving the MPG numbers that Chevrolet gives, because, well, it'd be easy to keep my foot on the pedal because this truck definitely gets down the road with absolutely no problem. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.